Brad, just your overall assessment first, please.
I was really happy with 70 minutes of it. Just the last 10 minutes, we got a little bit loose, put ourselves down on the try line, and we were chasing a 0 against us, and a bit disappointed with that. But overall, I feel like we're starting to learn how we need to build a game. So we're learning how to build a game, and we showed good patience in the first half. Had a fair bit of ball at their try line, and I thought we attacked really well at the try line. They just come up, we got held up a few times. They made some last-ditch tackles, but we didn't. No, we held our nerve. We weren't chasing the scoreboard, and that you got to give them credit, because I thought they tried really hard and they scrambled really well on their defensive line. But we knew that if we kept persistent with it, and that was the thing that made me pretty happy and pleased, was that we persisted with it. And then we knew that they'd fall away at some stage, just with the amount of possession that we had and how physical we were.
Did you feel like you could have been home and hosed really by half time?
Well, we were. I know it was only 6-0 at half time at half time on the scoreboard, but I was comfortable that we'd done enough and we'd get the rewards in the second half.
Callum Watkins, who clearly writes his own scripts. What does that mean to the group to see him score in his second debut?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice for him. But it was, it's good for the group as well that when someone joins your club and they've only been do 2 sessions. So the boys were pretty happy for him. But you can see that just his leg speed through the middle third of the field gives a bit of a different look at times. Can go to the edge, can go to in the centres, so it gives us a bit of flexibility.
You're still chasing, obviously, that 80-minute performance. What frustrated you most about that 10 minutes?
You know what? It's real hard to get a complete 80 minutes. So I don't know if we're ever going to get it, but we're going to keep striving for it. We kept scrambling on our try line, which was really good at the back end, and we come up with a try against us. We were down a number, but we probably scrambled well and gave ourselves an opportunity to get out, and we just took a couple of wrong options. But it's all part of our development as a team, and some individuals, they're learning as well. And I think we gave away a penalty on tackle 4, and then we defended 2 sets, and then we ran into touch. So, but anyway, these guys are going to get experience and get better is by making those errors, and we learn from them. But our response to them is much more pleasing for me over the last couple of weeks.
At the same time, you've got 3 wins in 4 games. Do you feel like you've got some momentum now?
Yeah, but we're going to know about it this week. We're up against the front runners, so it's a really good challenge for us, and we'll get a real good indication of where we're at.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
James Bentley moved to the bench. What was the thinking behind that? And were you pleased with his response? He was involved in an awful lot of stuff when he came on, wasn't he?
Yeah, look, we're in a position where we've got a really strong forward pack in terms of depth, different combinations that we can use, and it's a good opportunity to, I took James McDonald off with 20 minutes, so that was always a plan if we got ourselves in a position, and when I spoke to him about it during the week, he's done every minute of his training, and because he's a back row, he plays every minute of the game, so it's a good opportunity just to, that 20 minutes might help him in a couple of weeks' time, when he's feeling a bit flattened down, so where I can manage a bit of game time for some of them, make some changes to some combinations just in case later on down the track we have to go with those combinations. Give Morgan Gannon, another start at getting through 80 minutes. So it's, look, they're just combinations that we can work on. And as we don't need to know what our best team looks like right now, we've got plenty of time to work that out. But in the meantime, just give them, like I said, game time to guys. We were able to get some minutes into some guys off the bench. Tom Horrod got a start. Keenan, I didn't put him back on the second half. Gave Lockie a rest. So, just being able to do that. And, I'm grateful to the team that they give me a position, or they put me in a position where I can do that.
You mentioned Morgan then. Obviously, there's been fresh speculation today about his future. It's understood that he said he's going to the Warriors next season. Is there anything you can tell us?
Oh, look, the club then believes he made a substantial offer to him. And they'll sort that out in the next couple of days, but it's, the club can't do any more.
Do you know what his decision is?
Well, look, I don't think he's staying, so, but you know, the club's done a really good job. You know, if he decides to go, but he hasn't, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't signed any contracts.
Brad, just another quick word on Callum Watkins. It says a lot about him as an athlete to make his first appearance for the club 17 years ago, still be playing at the top level today, and to mark it with a try is...
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's pleasing, and it's part of, you know, what we're trying to build through the club as well. Is we've got some young guys here, and they can learn from Ryan Hall and Callum Watkins to still be playing at their age and still be at the top of their game. Well, obviously there's reasons behind it, and it's to do with their professionalism, and that's the bit of leadership that those two guys, you know, and it's a lot of leadership without actually talking. It's just their evidence of what professionalism does and hard work does and looking after your body does.